Okay, let's unpack this. Hyderabad.
Yeah, let's do it.
Today we are diving into a city that really embodies contrast, doesn't it? A place that feels ancient and totally cutting edge at the same time.
It really does. Steeped in tradition, but also, like you said, sprinting into the future.
And it has these incredibly evocative names, right? You hear City of Pearls, which sounds so historical, so classic.
Reflecting that historical wealth and trade, exactly.
But then increasingly you hear Cyberabad, which points to this completely modern identity.
A whole different vibe. It really signals that shift.
It's a place where history and modernity, they aren't just, side by side. They feel properly interwoven.
Yeah, creating this blend that's, well, pretty unique, I think.
And the source material you've shared gives us this remarkable lens to explore how the city pulls that off, that balancing act.
It's a great resource. We've got this rich stack of notes, articles. It really takes us on that journey from the founding dynasties right up to, well, its status now as a global tech hub.
A deep well of information, for sure. So our mission together in this deep dive is to navigate all this material, to pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising facts.
The nuances, yeah. The things that really show what makes Hyderabad, Hyderabad.
Exactly. Think of this as your personal shortcut, cutting through the noise to really grasp the essence of this dynamic place.
I mean, just thinking about it, the source calling it unplugged from time in one moment.
Right. And then talking about it being at the very forefront of global innovation, like tech and biotech.
That paradox alone is fascinating to dig into.
It really is.
And Hyderabad's path, its trajectory, it isn't just like any other large Indian city growing bigger. It has this genuinely unique story.
Shaped by distinct phases, you mean? Historical and then modern development.
Exactly. And understanding those layers, those foundations, is absolutely critical if you want to appreciate its significance today, its role in India, its place on the global stage.
So this deep dive is really designed to show you why it holds that kind of pivotal position. All right, well, where else do we begin? But right at the start. Let's go back way back. Over 400 years now. Late 16th century.
That's the spot.
Tell us about the birth of this city, according to our sources.
Okay, so the sources pinpoint the founding to 1591. The founder was Muhammad Quali Qutb Shah. He was the fifth ruler of the Qutb Shahi dynasty.
And the location? Not just picked out of a hat, I assume.
No, definitely not. The material really emphasizes its strategic placement, right on the banks of the Musi River.
Okay.
And this location was absolutely fundamental, not just, pretty scenery. It offered real advantages for commerce, for connectivity.
Ah, practical reasons.
Very practical, and it provided a natural setting that the city then grew around. Because of this prime spot and the founder's vision, Hyderabad started to flourish pretty quickly.
Flourish how? What defined it in those early days? Under the Qutb Shahis?
Well, trade was definitely part of it, establishing markets, routes, but the sources specifically highlight that this era established Hyderabad as a major center for art and culture.
Art and culture right from the beginning.
Yeah. And crucially, they fostered a haven for Persian culture. We're talking a really significant influence. Poetry, language, architecture, philosophy.
So you hear Persian spoken in the courts?
Oh, absolutely. Imagine courtiers debating, poets reciting verses, artists creating works influenced by Persian styles, all happening under royal patronage.
Wow. That gives it a different feel.
It does. This strong Persian imprint so early on gave Hyderabad this distinct cosmopolitan character right from the outset. It wasn't just an admin center. It was a place of, refinement, artistic pursuit.
So, a city born strategically, quickly becoming this cultural beacon with a unique Persian flavor.
Yeah.
But history, it rarely stays still, does it? Power shifts.
They're inevitable, yeah. The Qutb Shahi rule ended in 1687. There was this period of conflict, and the Mughal Empire briefly took control.
Briefly.
Relatively briefly, yeah. Compared to the dynasties before and after, the really transformative shift came with the rise of the Asaf Jahi dynasty.
Ah, the Nizams. That's the name most people know, right?
Yeah, that's them. The Nizams of Hyderabad. They established themselves as semi-autonomous rulers as Mughal power declined, and their era marked the beginning of Hyderabad as one of the most powerful princely states in British India.
And certainly the wealthiest.
Oh, undoubtedly the wealthiest.
The Nizams. Their name just conjures up images of unbelievable wealth, grandeur. Does the source material back that up?
Absolutely. The legends aren't just legends. The sources confirm their immense riches. They controlled vast territories, huge resources.
But it wasn't just hoarding wealth, was it?
No, and the material balances this well. It highlights their significant philanthropy, too. They weren't just sitting on piles of gold. They invested heavily back into the city.
Like what sort of things?
Funding huge construction projects, setting up educational institutions, hospitals, supporting charities. They really saw themselves as patrons, as builders of the state.
And this legacy, it's not just buried in history books, is it? The sources suggest it's still kind of woven into the city today.
Deeply woven. The Nizam legacy is incredibly tangible. As the sources point out, when you're in Hyderabad today, you're constantly bumping into their influence.
How so?
Well, the grand palaces they lived in or built, the huge markets they developed, which are still bustling centers of commerce.
Still active markets.
Yeah, absolutely. And major institutions, universities, hospitals, libraries, many of them trace their origins right back to the Nizam era.
So they're not just old buildings.
Not at all. They're living, functioning parts of the city. Constant reminders of, well, almost 2 centuries of Asaf Jahi rule and their vision for Hyderabad.
So, bringing it back to our listener, why does all this deep history, the Qutb Shahi founding, the Persian influence, the rise and legacy of these super wealthy Nizams, why does that matter for understanding Hyderabad now?
Because it's not just about dates and names, This layered history, it is the foundational identity of Hyderabad.
The blueprint, kind of.
Exactly. The Qutb Shahis set the tone. Strategic location, culture, cosmopolitanism, the Nizams built on that, creating this powerful, prosperous, institutionally rich state.
Shaping the physical city, the society.
Right. The layout, the social structure, the initial cultural mix, its whole reputation. Without understanding this bedrock, you can't fully grasp why modern Hyderabad is the way it is.
How it carries those echoes of the past.
And how that depth interacts with its, frankly, rapid modernization. It's the essential context. It really is.
That really clarifies it's not just background, it's the blueprint.
Yeah.
Okay, stepping forward from those foundations, let's talk about the vibrant, living city of today. The culture, the people calling Hyderabad home.
Right.
The source material uses a term we hear a lot, but it feels really apt here. Melting pot.
It truly is a melting pot, and the sources really elaborate on this nicely. The deep cultural roots, they describe them as being in Deccani Muslim culture, that itself is a product of centuries of synthesis in the Deccan region.
But layered on top of that.
Exactly. The city has absorbed and integrated significant influences from all around. Strong Telugu presence, obviously, but also Marwari, Kannada, Tamil influences, all layered into the mix.
So it's not just diverse populations living separately.
No, it's more than that. It's a place where these different streams have interacted over a long time to create a cultural blend that's genuinely unique to Hyderabad. You don't find quite that flavor elsewhere in India.
And I guess that blend shows up most obviously in language.
Absolutely. The main languages reflect those core influences. You've got Urdu, which was the court language under the Nizams, central to that Deccani Muslim identity.
And Telugu.
And Telugu, yeah. The language of the surrounding region, the majority language in the modern state. But, like any big globalizing city.
And Hindi and English are everywhere too.
Widely spoken, yeah. Especially in business, education, administration.
But there's a specific form of language in Hyderabad that the sources really highlight, something special.
Yes, and it's one of the city's real linguistic treasures. Hyderabadi Urdu, or sometimes just called Hyderabadi.
What's special about it?
The sources describe it as being famous for its unique tone, its rhythm, and importantly, its distinctive humor. It's a colloquial dialect.
So, different vocabulary, phrasing.
Yeah, evolved locally over time. It gives it this character that's instantly recognizable if you're familiar with the city.
And you hear it used.
Not just in everyday chat, but prominently in local films, theater, stand-up comedy. Its particular charm and wit get really celebrated.
Now, that is really fascinating. It makes me wonder, how does a local dialect like that, like Hyderabadi Urdu, actually reflect the personality of a city and its people?
That's a great question, and the sources kind of touch on it by describing the feel of the city. A dialect often captures the cadence, the attitudes, maybe even the pace of life.
So the noted charm and humor of the dialect.
It seems to encapsulate that often described laid-back, warm, witty nature of Hyderabadis. It feels personal, maybe less formal than standard Urdu.
Reflecting a culture that values hospitality, connection.
Perhaps, yeah. It gives the city this distinctive voice, like a linguistic fingerprint. It speaks volumes about the spirit of the inhabitants, their approach to life. It's not just what you say, but how you say it, carrying all that local flavor.
Moving beyond language, the sources also talk about attire and festivals. Another area where we see the blend.
Definitely. Traditional clothes are still very much part of the scene. You see elegant sherwanis, especially for men at formal events.
And for women.
These stunning kada dupatas, traditional saris, especially worn during weddings, religious ceremonies, big festivals. These are clothes with deep historical roots, some going back to the Nizam era.
But alongside that,
the sources note the strong adoption of modern fashion by younger generations. Global trends, forward-looking outlook. It's that comfortable coexistence again that's so Hyderabad.
And the festivals.
Yeah.
The list in the source is quite something.
Yeah.
Ramzan, Diwali, Bonalu, Muharram, Sankranti, Christmas. Quite a mix.
That diverse list is maybe one of the most powerful indicators of Hyderabad's secular fabric, its true melting pot identity.
How so?
The fact that major festivals from Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, plus regional ones like Sankranti and Bonalu, which has strong local roots, are not just observed, but widely enthusiastically celebrated across communities.
It's the participation.
Exactly. It speaks volumes about the city's culture of inclusivity, tolerance, mutual respect. It's not just different groups in the same place. It's a shared sense of belonging, participating in each other's traditions.
Reinforcing that layered identity.
Built on various cultures and faiths coexisting.
So what about the people themselves? What's that intangible Hyderabadi spirit the source mentions?
The sources consistently describe Hyderabadis as known for their warmth, exceptional hospitality, and this certain sort of unhurried, laid-back charm.
Approachable. Good sense of humor.
That's the reputation, yeah. Perhaps linked back to that Hyderabadi Urdu we talked about. And this persona is deeply connected to how they live, navigating that fundamental paradox.
The paradox being?
Balancing that old-world grace often associated with the Nizams, with the fast-paced, demanding lifestyle of, say, tech professionals.
How did that balance actually work in daily life? How does it look?
It means you could literally have someone working super intensely in a cutting-edge tech park all day, dealing with global projects.
High-pressure stuff.
Totally. And then in the evening, they might unwind by popping into a traditional Irani cafe for chai and biscuits, or attending a family gathering steeped in old customs, or just strolling in a historic neighborhood.
So it's not like choosing one or the other.
No, it's a comfortable, often unconscious integration of both. People move between these worlds fluidly.
And the source connects this to quality of life, too.
It does. It points out Hyderabad often ranks well for safety and, notably, affordability compared to other big metros like Bengaluru or Mumbai.
Suggesting the blend offers tangible benefits.
Exactly. It implies the old world charm isn't holding back progress, and the progress isn't necessarily wiping out the city's livability or cultural depth.
So understanding the culture, the people, their language, festivals, how they live.
It's essential. It gives you the soul of Hyderabad. History is the structure, economy the engine, but culture and people are the feel, the lived experience.
Moving beyond facts and figures.
Right. Grasping the daily rhythm, the values, the interactions, the unique character of the people who make Hyderabad home. It's understanding the human side of this complex blend.
Okay, moving from the human element to the physical environment. Let's talk geography and that truly iconic architecture. It defines the look of the city.
Right. So Hyderabad is on the Deccan Plateau, huge ancient landmass in peninsular India.
And the landscape itself.
What sets it apart is this undulating terrain and the presence of these scattered, often quite dramatic rock formations, granite boulders worn smooth over millennia.
So not flat. It has character.
Definitely. It's got this rugged, ancient beauty, provides a unique backdrop to all the urban development, gives it a sense of place, a connection to deep geological time.
And right at the heart, geographically, emotionally maybe, there's a big lake.
Hussain Sagar Lake. And one of the really remarkable details from the source is its age. It's man-made, large, but built in 1562.
Wait, 1562? That's before the city was founded in 1591.
Nearly 3 decades before, it was originally built to meet the water needs of Golconda Fort, the previous capital.
So a major landmark built before the city it defines even existed, still sits right at its center. How does that happen?
It's pretty extraordinary, isn't it?
Hmm.
Maybe remarkable foresight by the builders, anticipating growth, or just speaks to the enduring importance of water and nice views.
It became a natural focal point.
Exactly. The new city grew around it. And today, it's not just history, it's a vital recreational hub boating, walking, waterfront chilling, right in the middle of a bustling metropolis.
A constant, calm presence connecting the city to its origins.
Built by one dynasty for their capital, only to become central to the capital of the next. Pretty amazing.
Okay, let's talk about the buildings that scream Hyderabad. The source highlights a fusion of styles in the architecture.
Yes, another area where that blend is so clear, the architecture reflects all those layers of history and influence. You see Islamic arches and domes,
Persian influences, too.
Persian geometric patterns, garden layouts, and then Hindu architectural elements, decorative motifs. This fusion creates buildings that are distinctively Hyderabadi, not purely one thing or another.
And there are a few must-know landmarks, right? The icons.
Absolutely.
And the absolute symbol of Hyderabad has to be...
Charminar? No question. Built in 1591, the same year the city was founded, by Muhammad Qali Qutb Shah himself.
Why was it built?
Legend says it was to commemorate the end of a plague. It also served as a mosque and a landmark at the city's central crossroads.
Those 4 minarets.
4 towering minarets, central archways. It is the icon. Standing under it, you feel the history swirling, see the bustling markets that have been there for generations.
What about the fort? The capital before Hyderabad?
Golconda Fort. That was the formidable capital of the Qutb Shahi kingdom before they shifted. It's known for its impressive scale, its defenses, and some fascinating details.
Like?
The sources mention its majestic ramparts, still dominating the landscape, and a truly remarkable acoustic system.
The acoustics.
Yeah. A clap near the main entrance gate can apparently be heard clearly right at the highest point, the Bala Hisar Pavilion. Over 60 meters higher, quite a distance away.
Wow. Ancient engineering.
Incredible feat, right. Possibly for signaling defense, maybe? Still amazes visitors today.
And the palace most associated with the Nizams.
That would be Charminar Palace, their principal seat. The source emphasizes its regal architecture. It's actually a complex of palaces, courtyards, gardens, really reflects the grandeur of the Nizam era.
And it has displays.
Yeah, it houses a museum-like collection, vintage artifacts, classic cars, historical documents, a direct window into the opulent lifestyle and history of the Nizams.
Any other key religious or historical sites mentioned?
Mecca Masjid is a big one, mentioned as one of the oldest and largest mosques in India. Construction started under the Qutb Shahis, finished by the Mughals and Nizams. Huge spiritual and historical significance.
And the tombs.
Yes, the Qutb Shahi tombs, near Golconda Fort. It's a collection of grand mausoleums for the various Qutb Shahi rulers and their families. Each tomb is impressive, set in landscape gardens, beautiful, serene place, showcasing the dynasty's architectural style.
So when we look at these buildings, Charminar, Golconda, Chowmahala, Mecca Masjid, the tombs, why does detailing them matter for you, our listener, trying to understand Hyderabad?
Because they aren't just pictures in a book, they are the physical embodiment of Hyderabad's story. They let you literally step into different eras.
Qutb Shahi vision at Charminar, their older power at Golconda.
Nizam opulence at Chowmahala, the layers of religious history at Mecca Masjid, the dynasty's final legacy at the tombs. It showcases that unique fusion of styles we talked about.
It's a tangible connection to the past.
Exactly, visceral. You walk among them and see how different rulers, cultures, eras have physically shaped the city that exists today. They are living history, giving context to the modern landscape.
Right, the tangible history. Okay, now let's follow the source and pivot, pretty dramatically, to the other side of that blend, the future-facing side, the explosion that led to Cyberabad, the modern powerhouse economy.
This is where Hyderabad goes through a truly remarkable transformation. The sources specifically point to the late 1990s, early 2000s as when this really took off.
And it wasn't accidental.
No, this rapid development, especially in tech, is credited to visionary leadership, strategic planning, notably the development of HITEC City.
HITEC City. What does that acronym stand for? What's the idea?
The source clarifies. Hyderabad Information Technology and Engineering Consultancy City. It was conceived as this dedicated modern hub specifically designed to attract and house IT companies.
A deliberate policy move.
Absolutely. To diversify the economy, position Hyderabad as a major player in that booming global IT services industry.
And the companies that came, The list in the source is, frankly, incredible.
It is. Major global tech giants set up significant operations. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Facebook, now Meta, Deloitte, Infosys, many others.
That concentration of big names.
That provided the critical mass that just fueled the tech boom. Having campuses of that scale immediately put Hyderabad on the global tech map.
And this is precisely what earned the city its modern nickname, Cyberabad.
Exactly. Cyberabad reflected that dramatic shift. The scale and speed quickly put Hyderabad in rivalry with Bengaluru, which had long been India's Silicon Valley.
A serious alternative.
Formidable alternative, yeah.
Wow.
Offering competitive infrastructure, talent. This sector now contributes significantly to India's software exports, vital for the national economy.
But the sources are careful. They point out the modern economy isn't just IT, right? There are other strong sectors.
Absolutely. IT might be the most visible, but the pharmaceutical and biotech sectors are equally, maybe even more deeply rooted and globally significant.
Hyderabad has a history in pharma.
A long history, yeah. And that's evolved into this sophisticated life sciences ecosystem. It's often nicknamed Genome Valley.
Genome Valley.
Because of the concentration of pharma companies, biotech firms, research institutions, manufacturing, all focused on advanced life sciences, drug discovery, biotech.
So diversification beyond just IT.
Makes the economy much more robust, more resilient.
So summing up this modern economy section, Hyderabad is an economic powerhouse.
By any measure, yes. Sources confirm it's a top contributor to India's GDP, a primary magnet for investment, domestic and foreign.
Drawn by that dynamic, diversified base.
Exactly. Thriving sectors in IT-enabled services, pharma, biotech, but also huge growth in related areas like real estate, retail, tourism. It's a multifaceted economic engine.
Why does understanding this modern economy, this rise of Cyberabad and Genome Valley, matter to you as a listener?
This is the critical modernity part of the equation, the counterpoint to the deep history. It shows how a city, while cherishing its 400-year-old roots, can simultaneously pull off the strategic, massive transformation.
Becoming a key player in the 21st century global knowledge economy.
Right. And this shift hasn't just brought jobs and wealth. It's fundamentally reshaped the city's demographics, brought people from everywhere, spurred huge urban development, created a whole new layer of cultural and social dynamics.
So you need to understand this to see Hyderabad now.
Essential to see it not just as historical, but as this forward-looking, globally connected metropolis driving innovation and growth. It's the engine behind the city's current momentum.
And of course, supporting that kind of massive growth, that population influx. You need top-notch infrastructure. Which brings us to the next key area the sources cover.
Exactly. The source material makes it crystal clear. Massive investment in infrastructure was both a necessary precondition and a consequence of the economic boom.
You had to build the framework.
Crucial to support the influx of companies, talent, residents, absolutely.
Okay, let's look at some key projects mentioned. First, getting people in and out globally.
The Rajiv Gandhi International Airport, RGIA. The sources describe it as consistently ranked one of the best airports in India.
Modern facilities, good connectivity.
Exactly. Extensive domestic and international routes. Provides that essential global connectivity vital for an international business hub like Hyderabad. It's the main gateway.
And for navigating the sprawling city itself. All the suburbs, industrial areas.
That's where the Outer Ring Road, the ORR, comes in. The source gives the scale a massive 158-kilometer expressway circling the city.
Wow. Purpose-built.
Explicitly stated. Connect major suburbs, industrial areas, national highways, bypassing the core city, cuts transit times hugely for freight, commuters, enables decentralization, efficient movement, critical for a big, modern city.
And for daily commuting inside the city.
The Hyderabad Metro Rail System, also prominently featured, characterized in the sources as one of India's most efficient metro systems.
Connecting key areas.
Major residential areas, business districts, transport hubs, provides reliable, rapid public transport, helps ease traffic congestion, makes commuting way easier for millions, fundamental for urban sustainability, quality of life.
Now, beyond just physical roads and rail, the source material also emphasizes fostering innovation, developing talent. It's not just concrete.
Yes, another crucial piece of the modern ecosystem. Hyderabad has actively cultivated a thriving startup scene.
And the sources highlight one key institution.
T-Hub, specifically mentioned as India's largest startup incubator and innovation hub.
So a deliberate effort to grow new companies, not just host big ones.
Exactly. Nurturing entrepreneurship, supporting new ventures, fostering that innovation culture from the ground up, right there in the city.
And fueling both the big guys and the startups are the universities and research centers.
Hyderabad is unequivocally a major educational hub. The sources list an amazing array of top institutions. University of Hyderabad, Osmania University, one of India's oldest.
The big names, ISBDT.
The internationally renowned Indian School of Business, yes. The tech powerhouse 3H, a campus of the highly respected BITS Pilani. The premier law school, Nalsar. This concentration attracts talent from all over India, feeds a highly skilled workforce.
And the research side.
Major national research organizations are based here too. CCSR Labs, ICRSAT, that's for agriculture and semi-arid tropics, CCMB Center for Cellular and Molecular Biology. Cutting-edge stuff.
So all this together
Solidifies Hyderabad's reputation not just as an economic powerhouse, but a genuine knowledge powerhouse. They provide the intellectual capital driving tech and scientific advancement.
So why does understanding this infrastructure, the airport, the roads, the metro, and this focus on education and innovation matter to you, the listener?
Because while the economy provides the jobs, the opportunity, the infrastructure is the crucial foundation for the city to function efficiently, to scale sustainably.
Makes sense.
And the focus on education, research, startups through places like T-Hub, that shows an explicit investment in the future.
Not just reacting, but planning ahead.
Exactly. Generating the next wave of talent, creating new knowledge, cultivating the innovative ideas that will keep Hyderabad competitive globally. It's building the capacity for future growth, not just physical structures. Allows the city to drive change, not just react to it.
All right. We've journeyed through history, culture, architecture, the modern economy, the infrastructure holding it all together. Now, let's talk about something really fundamental to Hyderabad's identity and experience. Something for the senses, the food.
Oh, absolutely. The sources rightly say you can't do a deep dive into Hyderabad without getting into its legendary cuisine.
And like everything else, it's a fusion, right?
A remarkable fusion, yeah.
What are the main influences coming together on the plate there?
Primarily, it's a blend of Mughlai, Telugu, and classic Deccani culinary traditions.
So Mughlai gives it richness.
Richness, use of dried fruits, nuts, elaborate preparations. From the Telugu side, you get regional spices, lentils, vegetables maybe. And the Deccani style is the synthesis, creating these unique dishes.
And the defining characteristics.
Rich spices are key, abundant use of aromatic herbs, mint, coriander, saffron, a real preference for slow-cooked delicacies, flavors developing deeply over time.
And if there is one dish that is just synonymous with Hyderabad, it's got to be
Hyderabadi Biryani, no contest. The signature dish, famous worldwide.
And the sources describe it vividly.
They do. It's not just rice and meat mixed up, it's the specific technique. Layers of fragrant, partly cooked basmati rice, marinated meat, usually lamb or chicken.
Layered in a pot?
In a heavy bottom pot, yeah. Spices, herbs, maybe saffron milk. Then the pot is sealed tightly, often with dough.
The dumb style.
That's the dumb method. Cook slowly over low flame or coals. The meat cooks in its own juices. The steam infuses the rice with all those incredible aromas. It's complex, flavorful, a true culinary masterpiece.
Are there other notable dishes mentioned, maybe linked to specific times?
Yes, Halim gets a special mention. It's a specialty during the holy month of Ramzan.
What is it exactly?
It's this thick, savory stew, pounded wheat, lentils, meat, traditionally lamb or beef, slow-cooked for hours until it's smooth, almost paste-like.
Sounds hearty.
Highly nutritious, very flavorful. Traditionally eaten to break the fast during Ramzan, but it's so popular many places serve it year-round now. Another example of that slow-cooked, rich flavor preference.
What other popular dishes does the source list? Things that represent the Hyderabadi palate.
Various kebabs are mentioned, including the unique pathar ka gasht.
Meat cooked on a stone.
Literally. Marinated meat cooked on a heated granite stone gives it this distinct smoky flavor. Nihari, that slow-cooked meat stew, is also popular.
And for dessert?
For a sweet ending, double kamitha. It's a rich bread pudding, fried in ghee, soaked in sugary syrup, a key traditional dessert.
And you can't really experience a city's food without hitting the street food scene. The source brings that up too.
Absolutely. Street food is where you really feel the city's pulse, taste its diversity casually. The sources name specific areas famous for it around Charminar, Tuli Chowki, Sindhi Colony.
And variety's huge.
Immense. Reflects multiple influences. You find the iconic Irani chai and Osmania biscuits. That combination is absolutely central to the city's tea culture.
Brought by immigrants.
Persian and Irani immigrants, centuries ago. But alongside those classics, you'll find spicy dosas and idlis from the south, pav bhaji, popular across India, samosas, loads of local snacks.
So how does this bustling street food scene, with its mix of traditional Hyderabadi stuff and regional items, reflect the city's energy and diversity?
It's like a perfect culinary microcosm of Hyderabad, isn't it? You've got these deep, traditional, local things, Irani chai, Osmania biscuits, they're institutions.
But then popular dishes from elsewhere, too.
Right, reflecting migration, cultural exchange. The street food scene is vibrant, informal, constantly evolving, just like the city itself. It offers a chance to sample different flavors side by side, represents the city's ability to absorb and offer diverse tastes, fast-paced, delicious, accessible, a true taste of the melting pot.
So taking the time to explore the cuisine, why is that so important in our deep dive?
Food isn't just fuel, it's direct cultural expression. Hyderabadi cuisine, that unique blend of Mughlai, Telugu, Deccani, it tells the story of the city's history, its rulers, migrations, its ability to synthesize traditions.
A sensory pathway into the city's soul.
Exactly. Understanding the food methods, ingredients, signature dishes, even the street food culture, lets you taste the richness of its past and the vibrancy of its present. It's a delicious way to connect with Hyderabad's identity.
From the legendary taste of Hyderabad, let's move to the sights and sounds. Its vibrant arts, entertainment, lifestyle areas.
Right. Hyderabad has a hugely active arts and cinema scene, and a massive part of that is its central role in Tollywood.
Tollywood being the Telugu language film industry.
Correct. One of the largest, most prolific regional film industries in India. And Hyderabad is its undisputed heartland.
And the sources highlight one place in particular.
Ramoji Film City. And it's not just a studio, it's noted as being one of the largest film studio complexes in the world.
In the world, wow.
The scale is astonishing. Numerous sets, production facilities, even themed attractions. It really underscores the huge economic and cultural impact of the film industry on the city. Employs thousands, movies watched by millions.
Beyond cinema, where else can you find culture and art?
The city's got a rich array of cultural institutions. The Salarjung Museum, one of India's largest art museums, incredible collection from around the world, amassed mostly by one family.
Amazing. What else?
There's the State Gallery of Fine Arts, showing contemporary and traditional art, and Shilparamam, the source calls it a unique village-style arts and crafts hub.
Village style.
Yeah, a space for artisans to display and sell traditional Indian crafts, hosts cultural performances, gives you a glimpse of rural Indian life and art right within the city. Spaces for appreciating history, visual arts, traditional crafts.
Let's talk shopping, another key part of city life. I'm guessing we see that old meets new contrast here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Very prominent. The source contrasts the modern shopping experience, big malls like Inorbit, Forum Sujana, GVK1.
Typical modern malls.
Contemporary retail spaces, yeah. International brands, multiplexes, food courts, catering to that globalized modern consumer. But right alongside these
Often just a short distance away.
are the traditional bazaars.
Which ones does the source mention?
Lad Bazaar, especially famous for its vibrant lacquer bangles, traditional jewelry, and Begum Bazaar, one of the city's oldest and largest commercial markets. Known for everything, household goods, spices, electronics, textiles.
So how does having both massive modern malls and these historic, bustling bazaars operating side by side, how does that reflect the city's blend?
It's a perfect illustration, isn't it? Hyderabad caters to multiple lifestyles, multiple preferences simultaneously. You can get high-end global fashion in a climate-controlled mall.
And then step into a centuries-old market.
Right, full of the sights, sounds, smells of traditional Indian commerce. Bargaining expected, specialized crafts sold. It shows modernity hasn't erased tradition. They coexist, offering this wide spectrum of shopping experiences. Reflects the diverse economic levels, cultural tastes within the city.
And finally, the source touches on how this blend is even reflected in different areas, different neighborhoods within the city itself.
Yes, the physical layout often mirrors this duality. Areas like Banjara Hills, Jubilee Hills, they're known for upscale homes, modern cafes, boutiques, vibrant nightlife. They represent that affluent, modern face of Hyderabad.
And in stark contrast,
Localities within the old city. centered around Charminar and other landmarks. They retain a much stronger connection to the city's historic past. Narrower lanes, traditional housing, historic markets, older customs still prevailing.
So the blend isn't just abstract or cultural. It's literally mapped onto the city's geography.
Precisely. Gives you a spatial understanding of Hyderabad's dual nature. People can choose to live, work, socialize in areas leaning more historical or modern, or, like many do, just navigate fluidly between them. It underscores that Hyderabad isn't monolithic. It's a composite of different environments, different lifestyles, coexisting.
So understanding the arts, the entertainment, the shopping, the different neighborhoods, why does this matter for our listener getting to grips with Hyderabad?
It provides a window into the daily life and leisure of Hyderabadis. It shows you how people entertain themselves, where they connect with culture, how they engage with commerce, how they choose to inhabit the city.
It demonstrates the blend in action.
Exactly. It shows the blend of heritage and modernity isn't just an economic or architectural concept. It plays out in the choices people make every day, how they spend their time, where they live. It highlights the vibrancy, the diversity, the sheer range of experiences available, gives you a fuller picture of what it feels like to be in Hyderabad today.
Wow. We have covered an incredible amount of ground in this deep dive.
We really have.
Starting from that 16th century founding by the Qajba Shahis, exploring the immense legacy of the Nizams, immersing ourselves in the unique cultural melting pot, the Hyderabadi spirit.
Appreciating the geography, the layered, iconic architecture.
Then leaping forward to witness the dramatic rise of Cyberabad and Genome Valley as these modern economic powerhouses.
Understanding the vital infrastructure, the knowledge ecosystem supporting it all.
Savoring that legendary fusion cuisine.
Can't forget the food.
And finally, exploring the vibrant arts, entertainment, and those diverse lifestyle areas.
It's been a journey across centuries, hasn't it? Through multiple facets of a truly complex, dynamic city, from Muhammad Qali Qajba Shah's strategic choice of location,
The rich Persian culture early on,
the powerful, wealthy state built by the Nizams, the diverse, inclusive cultural fabric with its unique language and festivals,
the enduring architecture blending styles,
the intentional, rapid transformation into a global leader in IT, pharma, biotech, supported by crucial infrastructure like the airport, ORR, metro,
fostered by great universities, research centers, T-Hub.
all underpinned by that world-famous food and a vibrant arts and lifestyle scene comfortably blending traditional and modern. It's quite a picture.
And the source material really leaves us with this powerful concluding idea. Hyderabad isn't just a city to visit or study. It's an experience to be had.
Whether you're drawn by the history, the tech buzz, the food aromas, the culture's warmth, the city seems to welcome you into that unique blend.
And it wraps it up with that evocative description, a celebration of diversity, progress, and heritage. Truly a city unplugged from time.
That phrase, unplugged from time, especially when we've just talked about it being at the absolute cutting edge of global tech and biotech, it really sticks with you.
It's quite the paradox, isn't it? Thinking about this city, founded over 400 years ago, carrying such tangible weight of history, multiple dynasties, cultures.
Somehow managing to be a leader in industries that define our absolute future, it prompts a fundamental question, I think.
How do cities manage it? Such rapid, future-focused growth, bringing in global industries, new people, while simultaneously holding on to that deep historical soul, that sense of being unplugged from time.
What lessons might Hyderabad offer about that incredibly challenging balancing act? Balancing the weight and lessons of the past with the relentless sprint towards tomorrow.
It's a fascinating question about urban identity, urban evolution.
Absolutely. A true testament, perhaps, to adaptability, resilience, the ability to weave different threads into one single vibrant tapestry.
We hope this deep dive into the source material has given you a rich, detailed understanding of Hyderabad, its remarkable journey, and its complex, captivating character.
Continue exploring, keep asking questions, and perhaps someday experience this unique blend for yourself.
Until the next deep dive.